You don't have to wait years, save every penny, or postpone your dreams until retirement. Your life of joy, of fulfillment, and liberation is closer than you think.
Welcome to the MoneyFitMD show. I'm Dr. Latifat, the founder of MoneyFitMD.
We want to change the narrative
where women physicians use.
My job is to let you know that's gonna be. I have to surround myself with people that are doing crazy things. Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode. I have an amazing announcement, and guys, I'm so excited because our book is coming out this week. It has been released May 2nd, 2025, and I am so incredibly grateful and excited that I get to share this book with you. So, for today's episode, as a way of celebrating the people that this book is dedicated to, which is women physicians, I would love to share with you the very first part of our new book that, again, will be released this week. And you probably know its name already. It is The Power to Choose, The Woman Physician's Guide to Financial Liberation and Life on Your Terms. So, here goes the introduction. Let me ask you something. If money wasn't an issue, if you didn't need to make a paycheck to cover bills or maintain your lifestyle, what would you change about your life? Think about it for a second. Would you work part-time? Travel the world? Start a business? Maybe you'd open your own practice, take a sabbatical, or coach your kids' soccer team. Perhaps you'd quit medicine entirely in this season. I know. It's hard to even go there. It's so far from our daily reality, it almost feels impossible. It's like asking someone to describe the meals they'd savor if they could only break free from one life sentence in prison. Dramatic? Maybe. But if we're being honest here, don't we sometimes feel like prisoners in our own lives? Trapped in an endless cycle with no end in sight? Actually, there is an end in sight, though not the one we've dreamed of. It's called burnout and fatigue. We hear the word burnout so often, it's almost lost its punch. But for women physicians like you and I, burnout is a daily reality, a shadow over every patient visit, every long shift, every missed family dinner. We are dedicated, driven, and successful, yet we're running on fumes. We're drained by a system that keeps demanding more and more without giving anything back. Medicine was supposed to be the dream that brought us purpose, fulfillment, and freedom. But somewhere along the way, the freedom became a distant, buried goal, obscured by endless responsibilities. No matter how much we sacrifice, how hard we hustle, it feels like we're just letting someone down. Our spouses, our kids, our patients, and even ourselves. And what's the alternative? If we quit and cut back, our income will take a hit. And without that income, what would we do? Some of us are already living paycheck to paycheck as it is. We're barely holding on by a thread. Even those who aren't living paycheck to paycheck still struggle to make their money work for them and actually grow. You thought you were alone in feeling this way? You're not. You're not. Women physicians report some of the highest burnout rates in the nation. And the suicide rates among female physicians is alarmingly high. Every year, 300 to 400 physicians in the US die by suicide. A tragic number, to say the least. According to the American College of Emergency Physicians, suicide rates among female physicians are 250 to 400% higher than among women in other professions. Hopelessness has become an all too common thread that's woven through the experiences of so many women physicians. This isn't because we don't love healing and helping others. This isn't for lack of passion or compassion. This is because many of us feel trapped, because we feel boxed in by expectations, by obligations, and financial need. We're told we should be happy, we've made it after all. Yet, here we are, working harder, sacrificing more, missing out on what matters most, all to keep up with a life that's supposed to be fulfilling. Many of us are the primary or sole breadwinners for our families. So it's not just about us, it's about the people that depend on us for security that we fought to create, the lifestyle we built. When we think about cutting back or stepping away, the first question that comes up is, what would this mean for my family? Yeah, money isn't everything, but it's often the first roadblock on the path to liberation. If finances weren't an issue, so many women physicians would do things differently. They'd work part time, take a sabbatical, open the practice they've dreamt about, or launch their own business. They'd have time to take care of themselves, to provide for their family, travel, and finally enjoy life on their terms. That's exactly why the book you hold in your hands is about money. But let me be clear, it's about so much more. It's about helping you see a path to liberation, a path towards choice, balance, and the life you deserve. A life where you no longer feel trapped by financial burdens, unrealistic expectations, and an endless cycle of hustle. You don't have to wait years, save every penny, or postpone your dreams until retirement. Your life of joy, of fulfillment, and liberation is closer than you think. How do I know this? You asked. Because this, my friends, was my story. If we haven't met yet, I'm Dr. Latifat. Like you, I'm a woman physician who has navigated both victories and challenges. My path to financial liberation began not with abundance, but with a heavy load of student debt, zero knowledge about money, and a vision of myself heading towards burnout. I had worked hard, moving from Nigeria to study at UCLA and UCSF then completing my residency in New York. But it didn't take long to realize that earning more didn't automatically lead to financial freedom. As a new attending physician, mother of two, now three, I found myself constantly apologizing for missed family moments and drained by long, relentless shifts. I envisioned my future self, successful on the outside, but empty on the inside, with no real deep relationships beyond the hospital. And I knew something had to change. I wanted freedom, not just a paycheck. I wanted the choice to live life on my terms. I knew financial security would be the key to that freedom, but I had no background in finance and I lacked support. The one size fits all approach didn't work for me. And my first financial advisor seemed to only be in it for himself. So I fired him, set out on my own, and began educating myself. I learned to manage my money with kindness and without shame, allowing myself to make mistakes along the way. And as I took control, everything shifted. Within 5 years, I paid off $200,000 in debt and grew my net worth to seven figures, all without sacrificing my integrity, my values, my career, or my family. At the start of the pandemic in 2020, while many physicians were panicking, unsure if the healthcare system would survive, facing layoffs, wondering how their income would be affected, I wasn't worried about money at all. Instead, I was able to focus on what truly mattered: my family's health and sanity. my community, my children's education, my own well being. That's when I realized I had figured out something: liberation. I was living proof that this was possible. And that was my turning point. It was time to share my knowledge more broadly. Now, let me pause for a moment to explain what I mean by liberation. I chose the word liberation instead of freedom for this book because in the financial world, freedom has a specific technical definition and it is tied to reaching certain milestones. But you don't need to wait for some big money milestones to feel free. When I talk about liberation, I'm talking about living life on your terms. It's not about hitting a magic number or waiting until you've officially made it to feel secure and at peace. Liberation is about having choice, flexibility, authenticity, and peace of mind right now, not 20 years down the line, not 20 years down the road when your account finally has hit some magical balance. Over the years, I've refined this framework as I've coached many women physicians through this journey towards liberation, watching these amazing women transform their lives in a short time. I've seen women go from buried in debt and burnt out to creating lives they love and are proud of. Women who once knew nothing about money and now feeling no longer trapped by their circumstances and their income source have accomplished so much that no one in their families may never have achieved before. Now, I'm here to show you that this is possible for you too. For many of us, the real issue isn't our ability or even our ability to manage money. It's that we were never taught to think about money in a way that truly serves us. We are bombarded with the idea that financial independence, some magical number in our bank account, is the key to living life on our terms. But we've all seen people with plenty of money who are still stuck in fear and scarcity, unable to live fulfilling, meaningful lives. Why? Because financial liberation isn't just about numbers. It's about how we think about money, both the money we have and the money we're yet to have. In other words, our mindset. In fact, financial success is 80% mindset and habits and only 20% numbers and strategy. But most people focus only on the 20%, obsessing over earning and saving more without realizing that without the right mindset, those numbers will never feel like enough. The math will never quite math. Let me share an example. A physician joined my money program feeling stressed and overwhelmed by her financial state. She was earning a good income, but her six-figure debt felt like a huge burden. Together, we created an automated path to pay off her debt by a specific date, giving her a clear and manageable path forward. But as we moved on to discuss our goals of earning more and investing, she began to withdraw. When I reached out, she admitted that while the group was motivated and supported, she felt she needed one on one help. She was convinced her problems were purely about strategy. As we dug deeper, she hesitantly shared her plans, almost as if they were secrets. They actually were good plans. She had applied for a loan to buy multifamily property, developed a course on weight loss support, and taken concrete steps to move forward. Yet she refused to acknowledge her progress, to give herself credit. Instead, she clung to the belief that she was missing the right strategy. In reality, her reluctance to own and celebrate her efforts, her don't tell anyone mindset, was the real obstacle. She didn't lack strategy. She lacked the mindset to see her own success and fully embrace her potential. This example shows you why the internal work is essential. If you don't address the fears and the limiting beliefs holding you back, any progress will feel incomplete. Somewhere along the way, you may have picked up the idea that success is all about the action and hustle. But without shifting your mindset, even your biggest wins can leave you feeling stuck and powerless. Changing the way you think, may not seem like the obvious solution right now, but once you experience the shift, you recognize it as the missing piece. That's why this book begins with mindset. Before diving into numbers and strategies, and don't worry, we will get there. We'll start by examining the false beliefs we hold about money and our own abilities. We'll learn to replace them with empowering truths. We'll discover the strengths we already have within ourselves to succeed. Then, with a strong foundation in place, we'll get into how to take control over your finances and experience sustainable growth. This brings me to the idea of practicing with two butt cheeks. Yep, I just mentioned butt cheeks in my book introduction because as a gastroenterologist, this is familiar territory for me. So, bear with me. When someone is sitting in a chair on one butt cheek, they're tense, cautious, and pretty uncomfortable. This is where many of us are today. We're practicing medicine defensively from a place of fear and scarcity. We're afraid of losing our clinical income, afraid of rustling and ruffling feathers, afraid to ask for what we deserve. We're always on edge about the consequences of our action and therefore second guessing our own decisions. This constant tension drains our energy and prevents us from fully embracing the work we are meant to do. Now, imagine living with two butt cheeks, firmly planted in the seat, grounded, comfortable, and fully settled in. When we are firmly in place like this, we're not anxious or second guessing ourselves. We're confident, aligned with our values, and ready to stand up to our decisions. We're practicing with two butt cheeks, meaning we're operating according to our values, our conscience is clear, and we're at peace with our decision. When I became an attending physician, I quickly realized that practicing defensively and fearfully with one butt cheek on the chair would drain my passion and purpose. So instead, I committed to living and working with two butt cheeks in place, staying true to my calling regardless of others' opinion. For me, this meant giving my all and doing the best work that I could so that I could go to bed at night knowing that I'd held firmly to my values. This commitment was tested in big ways. I faced incidences that shook my sense of safety, including some racist experiences in the workplace. As a physician of color, I'd once thought my white coat was a protective barrier, but these experiences challenged that assumption, putting my joy in medicine at risk. Many would understandably feel trapped in such circumstances, especially bound by financial needs to stay where they didn't feel valued. But because I changed my mindset around my money and diversified my income source beyond my clinical income, I had the freedom to make decisions based on what was best for my well being, my family, and my integrity. That's the purpose of financial liberation. Not just financial security, but the power to live and work in your own terms, true to your values, with both butt cheeks firmly in place. I hope you've enjoyed this little introduction to our powerful book, The Power to Choose, The Woman Physician's Guide to Financial Liberation and Life on Your Terms. This book is going to be released May 2nd, 2025. I want you to do me a favor right now. Do yourself a favor. Do your family a favor. Do your friends a favor. Do your residents and fellows a favor and go on Amazon.com starting May 2nd, 2025, and go get your copies. This is the book that will bless you, will help you, will give you practical strategies that has worked not just for me, but many other women physicians that I've had the honor of serving. The keys to our solution, guys, is not for us to wait for someone to come save us. There's problems with the healthcare system. But you know what I care about? I care about you. You know who is important? You. Because I always talk about the heart. And the fact that we have to learn from the heart. What does the heart perfuse first? Perfuse you. Unless you're free, you can't help anybody else be free. Unless you're well, you can't help anybody else be well. So this book is dedicated to you. And I really, really hope that you will take a moment, go grab your copy now, starting May 2nd on Amazon.com. You can search for my name, Latifat Akintade, or you can also search for The Power to Choose, The Woman Physician's Guide to Financial Liberation and Life on Your Terms. I want to say thank you very much for letting me be in your ears. I look forward to serving you. And if you're listening to this the week of May 2nd, I want you to make sure you join us for our event. It's a large event. It's virtual. You can literally listen to this from the comfort of your home. You get to hear from women physicians just like you that are creating their own life of freedom. You're going to be part of our big celebration May 2nd that also happens to be my birthday. And then on day number 3, I'm going to show you and extract some of the key factors that I truly believe that will be the key to helping you create the life of freedom. You already know that you're meant for so much more. You're meant to be a bird that flies. You're not meant to be trapped. You're not meant to settle for financial security. There's so much more that's waiting for you to find. There's so much more that's waiting for you to grow and be in this world. And I dare to say the best gift you can give yourself is the gift of liberation. And you get to have the keys, the step-by-step guide in your hand starting May 2nd. Don't forget to grab a copy for yourself, a copy for your friend, a copy for your colleagues, a copy for your fellows, a copy for your residents. It is time, guys. It is time. Thank you so much for listening. I love you. I appreciate you. And I look forward to seeing you be a part of our virtual launch. Take care and God bless.